Action!
You disgust me. Grow up.
Hello everybody and welcome to the quintessential Glaswegian movie review show, What's the Script? Episode 21, and we're going to be doing Gladiator. Chris, how are we this week, mate?
Yes, super duper, raring to go.
How you look at? Piss hole eyes.
I'm just after washing my face there. I was going all that yawn itchy way. I need to get that cream on it, you see.
All right, okay. Less said about that, the better.
Yes, tea dies, eh?
Aye. No more in the face, guys. Come on now. Use that in a sock like everybody else. Come on. Places to go here. So, mate, Gladiator, released in 2000, 22 years ago, mate. What an absolute baller of a film, man.
Aye, it's epic, isn't it? I think it's, see, after it was released, it started like a whole sway of films.
That's it. It was a birth for so many period kind of movies and TV shows in that era, wasn't it?
Yep, definitely. I think after this, you had like Troy, Alexander, Kingdom of Heaven, and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
It's a Cicero story. You had BBC spent millions on developing Rome, which was quite a good series as well. I don't remember much about it. Latterly, you've got ones like Pompeii, but we'll not talk about Pompeii because it was utter shite. Fucking
Pompeii.
They missed a beat with that. But let me throw some names at these folks, right? Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, Connie Nielsen, Oliver Reed, Richard Harris, Derek Jacobi, Jimon Honsu, and even David Schofield, John Sharpbell, and Thomas Arena. And as great a cast as that is, the one thing, every one of them were absolutely brilliant in the roles they played in this film, weren't they?
Aye, there's no weak performances by anybody. And I mean, maybe with Phoenix, you can be, but even then, it's to his character.
I mean, flawless. I mean, people that have watched this a few times will always say Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, amazing, brilliant, smashing. All the other names I mentioned as well, even Tommy Flanagan, Chip, Sons of Anarchy, he's the hero, he's Maximus, he's kind of manservant, and even he's great in it, you know what I mean? But Derek Jacobi, he is a thespian. Richard Harris, thespian. Do you know what I mean? They've tread the boards and done Hamlet and all that kind of stuff to distraction. Amazing.
Oliver Reed, I know, man.
Oh,
he's superb. There's a bit in this, he's just superb, man.
Oliver Reed's that good that he even does scenes after he died.
I know.
But we'll get into it, folks, for you. So, Gladiator, it's set in 180 AD, which is 180 years before the birth of Christ, if you believe in that sort of fairy tale.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Cancelled.
Aye, cancelled, man. Flung away into the bin of pods.
Aye. What is it? We end up opening scene, it's Maximus in it, just in Germania.
Aye. It's the synonymous one, though. He's in Germania, but before you know he's in Germania, his eyes shut and he's just concentrating on his happy place, which is his house, you know, his home, his fingers running through the fields and stuff. And he just opens his eyes, and as you say, mate, he's in Germania, isn't he?
Yeah. It's hard to think now, but isn't it, that they wanted Mel Gibson for this role?
No, I know.
It's
I don't. Again, it's one of the ones you can't see anybody else doing it because we've had 22 years of Russell Crowe doing it. Maybe Mel Gibson would have been good. Who cares? Who knows? You know what I mean? But Russell Crowe is just, it was a perfect cast. Everybody in this film, as we've just said, perfectly cast. I don't even think they would have added to this even the greatest actresses and actors at their time. But see, when he opens his eyes, mate, he's in the midst of war, just about to get into another battle, the last battle. And he just looks over and he notices a wee robin, doesn't he?
He's just lost in this moment. Like,
In the midst of all the decay, the burnt forest, the charred land and all that, there's a sign of life, a hope. And he just has a little smirk to himself and watches it fly away, man. So right for the get-go, you're getting, do you know what I mean? Messages.
That's it. We subliminal messaging on the way through it. Wee messages of hope.
Aye. So they're waiting on their Centurion coming back with word from the Germanians if they want to fight them, won't they?
Aye, the barbarians. Aye, and it gives you like a shot of Richard Harris. He plays the Emperor Marcus Aurelius at this point, and he looks aged.
Aye,
aged.
He's not looking as young as he probably used to, but just watching on for the top of the slopes there and his final battle. This is the one piece of land and people they need to conquer to have finally, do you know what I mean, after 25 years, have completed it. There's nothing else to conquer.
Aye, his lifetime achievement sort of thing.
Legacy. But the wee guy comes back, didn't he?
I will bet him come back. So, oh fuck, this is turning into a horror. There's a headless horseman there.
Aye, 80% him comes back.
Aye, but the emissary comes back with his head chopped off, which I reckon is the most definitive answer to saying no to anybody.
But Maximus kind of says he'd been gone for 2 hours. What the hell were they doing to him for 2 hours?
Aye, exactly. Aye, considering these people are supposed to be like mad barbarians, like they're not sitting down talking logistics, do you know what I mean?
Must have been cutting his head off with nail clippers. But he's come back and Marx has already said, right, that's their answer, let's get ready here. And they're lining up and stuff, ready to go. Mad Barbarian comes out with a head and starts shouting in German. I would imagine, or Barbarian, whatever it is. Well, Germania is Germany, isn't it?
Aye. But see if you listen closely to it, they used like a sound clip for the film Zulu.
Right.
So you hear them like kind of sounding to like the taunts for the Zulus, isn't it?
Yeah, right, okay.
so Germanians talk Zulu.
Right. Well, you've kind of ruined that for me there. I don't like that. I'm not into that at all. But there we go. So they're going to war. Maximus is the general. They're all under him. It's all his soldiers. He's the man. He has his little speech to them, doesn't he? The first of many speeches.
That's it. Aye, well, it says he's be second in command, doesn't it? On my signal, release hell.
Aye.
So, which is obviously getting amongst it, lads.
Before he says that, he just kind of says, look, what we do in life echoes in eternity. It says, if you find yourself in battle, you're alone, but you've on the green grass, with the sun in your face, the wind at your back, then fear not, for you are in Elysium, and you're already dead. And they all laugh.
Aye, that's him talking to his wee sneaky, isn't it? Getting him the Jamie up.
Aye.
But which is I don't know how they get round there anyway.
I know they flanked them, didn't they? Obviously, it's a tactical move, but one that you would expect. You know what I mean? So you're right, mate. I don't know how they get round the back of the woods to get in behind the barbarians, but they do anyway. And it's a brilliant battle, man. For your opening act to the film, it's excellent, man. There's kind of shades of Saving Private Ryan in it.
Oh, definitely. It's all these mad camera angles, and plus this is like the first kind of movie I'd seen that the Romans were actually dirty and gritty and stuff. Whereas see every other film leading up to this, they're always in gold, perfect. Know what I mean? Immaculate. But this it showed you, they were just like any other army.
They were just always shiny, weren't they? Weren't they kind of fatigued and, as you say, mate, bogging, starving, war weary kind of thing. So it's great because the actual setting and the scene must have had some extras in this and all, man.
Aye.
It's vast, it's huge, it's absolutely brilliant. So they go at it. Catapults gone, arrows gone. As I say, there's shades of Private Ryan in this, where like people walking about missing limbs, looking for limbs, getting their arms chopped off, and it's just brilliant.
Aye, definitely, man. His own scenes go, it's tremendous. Obviously, Max is. I'm just calling him Max because I'm not saying his whole name. He shot a fire arrow starting after the battle and stuff, and now he's riding behind these barbarians.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what it is he shouts?
I can't remember.
Aye.
Mate, I should have wrote that down.
Well, he shouts something anyway, and I think that's like maybe strength and honour or something.
Aye,
Just,
say that.
He's daft on saying that.
Somebody on Twitter will no doubt correct us.
Aye.
It's shame doing it, I know. Do you know what I mean? But they're in battle and all that, and that's when Marcus Aurelius's wains arrive, or they're arriving in the back of the coach, which is Lucilla and Commodus.
Aye. That Commodus.
As I wrote it, wains arrive.
The wains arrive. Oh, there's youngins there. But aye, the whole battle's going on into it, and
he's in the coach and he's talking to his sister, and he's just pure blasé about. I think he's going to name me Caesar this time. And all that. I think this is it. He's dying and all that kind of stuff. It's only a matter of time. Lucilla's just, fuck, here we go again, as if getting this conversation every 2 seconds, a wee dick.
Aye, you for sure not to be trusted, you cunt. Aye, but it's the battle's still going on as well, and you see like Max, and he chops some guys he'd off with a sword, and it's stuck in the tree, which was cool.
Aye, fire.
Aye.
Fire sword.
And obviously he gets, well, I just said dehorsed. He gets knocked off his horse. And it ends up just a lot of mad scrap in it. Just a free-for-all.
That's it. I mean, it shows I know Max, we'll call him Max. He's no flawless either. There's a couple of shady times where he could have get done in, but it's only through the loyalty and that of his soldiers that, because there's a time he's doing it, and he's getting a weapon, he's just about to get his head chopped off, and a wee guy comes in on a horse, saves the day and all that.
Exactly, aye. He's every time to get back up. But it's like some of the graphics in this, and honestly, people getting hit with swords and spears and all this, it's quite graphic as well.
That is, absolutely. And it's something, again, that Kenobi get panned for, with people saying, but the lightsabers no chop off limbs anymore. Aye. There's a lot of slashing and stuff. It's easily, I'm saying it's easily done, but it was done brilliantly in this film, absolutely brilliantly. But the battle's over, mate. They've won the day, and Caesar comes down, talk to Max, didn't he?
Aye, yeah. This is, everything's done, well done. You won the battle, and you can kind of see that he kind of sees him as his son or something. Know what I mean? It's like, that's my boy. And it's like, as they're walking through all the ranks of the soldiers and stuff, and they're all like shouting like their cheers and stuff. Mm-hmm. But Max thinks it's for the Emperor.
Aye, says to him, didn't he? They serve you, sire. He goes like, no, Max, they serve you. And he realises you're right, and then he just puts his sword up, and he'll go, hey!
Aye. I lost 3 of my best mates today, but since you raised that sword, good on you.
He says, what can I give you, Maximus? And he says, like, I want to go home. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. That's it. And you can kind of see he doesn't want to hear that. But
he knows he's kind of, he's due it, you know what I mean?
Aye, definitely. Aye, because he's like, how long is it since you've been away from him? And he's like, 2 years, 300 and something days, and this morning.
I know. It's not that I'm counting, sire.
Aye.
But he's talking there, and then the carriage pulls up, and that wee Commodus comes out like, have I missed it? Have I missed the battle? And Marcus just says to him, you've missed the war.
Aye.
Which we later find out it's been 25 years happening.
I know, but practically his entire life, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, but it's just this stupid shit. Like, I still say it to do. Embrace me.
Take my hand.
Oh, just
It's right there. We see the jealousy ripping out of him where Maximus is concerned, because he says, take my arm. He takes it for a wee bit and he just does that, ushers him away, and he gets on his horse. Maximus goes up, makes sure that Caesar's securing his horse, and you just see Commodus looking as if to say, I hate you.
Aye, fuck you too. You just see it. It's like the favourite son and the not so favourite son, so to speak.
Because even asked Maximus then, didn't he? He says, can I count on you when the time comes?
Aye.
He just kind of ushers him away with a kind of throwaway answer, just I will do what's needed, this kind of thing.
Aye.
But Marcus then has a chat with Lucilla, his daughter, walks in the tent, just says, oh, if you were only born a boy, what a great Caesar you'd have been. So right there and then, you know, Commodus isn't even in the running to be the next.
Exactly. Aye. Well, obviously, his daughter must have all the traits that he thinks would be good for a Caesar. Know what I mean? Because she is like a wise head in this. Know what I mean? Plays all the right actions, so to speak, even when it comes to the senators and stuff. But old misogyny there.
Aye. Sexism was a bit of life back in the day.
You've no PP. You've no say. Fuck off.
So it's even owed to her good character that members of the Senate and all that do respect her as a woman. They see past the fact she's a woman and want to hear what she's got to say. They know she's a wise person. But the next scene, we've got Marcus Aurelius and Maximus in the tent again. And long story short, he can ask Max about his house, what he misses, what he wants to be. And then he says, I've got one more favour to ask you, didn't he?
Aye, because he gives Max permission to speak freely. Because Marcus is really like, this last battle, these 25 years, what will I be remembered as? So he doesn't look fondly upon his legacy at all. And that's what kind of sets off Max. He's like, I've got 3,000 guys out there. 2,000 of them are wounded and stuff. There'll be about 2,000 of them don't make it home. And we all fought for your dream, sort of thing. So CBM saying that as well. Marcus is like that. You're my guy. You know what I mean? You're there. You've done the job interview perfect there.
He knows it, and he asks him there and then, I need you to be the defender of Rome. Can you do it? And he says, with all my heart, no. And then Marcus says, and that's why it has to be you. Because he knows you're selfless. You're not in this for anything, even the glory of Rome. You're just doing it for your Caesar. Know what I mean? That's
it. Duty. Because he's like that. You've not been corrupted by any of the politics. You've not been corrupted by any of the power. It's exactly what Rome needs in there to get back to the people.
Because it says to Maximus, Commodus cannot rule. He must not rule. Maximus is the only one to hear that. Although Lucilla knows what's getting said, there's nobody there with a recorder, you know what I
mean? She knows the script.
But, she knows the script. She's horny. Meets with Maximus right after it and just kind of, hello, Maximus.
But it's the whole she's, what did my father say to you and stuff? And he's like, oh, he just thanked me for the battle. But she's like that. I'm on to you prick.
Because she does. She says to him, you're lying. You're a terrible liar. Then he finds out that her husband just died and all that, says he mourned for him and stuff. She tells him about, he's got a wee boy called Lucius. That's when he first hears that name, which is quite poignant when it comes to a wee bit later on. But long story short, it's getting to the end of the night. Maximus is praying to the gods. And he's got his wee figurines, hasn't he? His wife and his son.
Aye, which come quite a big part of the film. And he's just praying. I think he's more praying to get home to them, sort of thing, isn't he?
Also, aye.
But no for their safety and whatever, not just to get home. But Commodus goes to meet his dear papa.
Aye.
And he thinks this is the moment, doesn't he?
That's it. Just comes in, they start talking right away. Marcus says to Commodus, you will not be the next Caesar right off the bat, man.
Aye.
And Commodus can't believe it, but I think he knows it was coming, although he's just been in denial for best part of how many years. And he does say to him, look, Father, there are other qualities in being a Caesar, but his qualities are all snide ones.
Aye. I say, list all these off in it. You're wanting this and this, but I've got this. I've got ambition and stuff like this. But then it all grinds right down to it that Commodus puts it on to him. I've never been good for you. I've tried all this and blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Your failings as a son are my failings as a father.
You know what I mean? That's the.
He wishes he was standing up when he did that.
That's the most ancient. That must be the first example of it's no you, it's me.
There we go, folks. We found it 180 ADs when that was first ever said. It wasn't even between a guy and a woman. It was two guys related. Well, incest wasn't unheard of back in these times.
Definitely not. But he goes to it's the way of Richard Harris. He's just like
I know. He's like an ancient Oliver, isn't
he?
Commodus.
I'll give you the upper pa a hug.
So Commodus grabs him in and eventually more or less smothers him to death, doesn't he?
It's just pure anger. Smothers the old Fader against these. Is that? I think that's armour, isn't it?
Aye. Just into him. Smothers him again. Stops the old man breathing, that's for sure. The next thing we know, Maximus is getting woken up. Found out Caesar's dead. So Maximus comes in and he knows the script, man. He's no stupid.
You kind of see he's like, so what happened? What did the doctor say? Which again, I'm quite amazed there was doctors back then and all. Just like, what happened? Oh, well, you see, he's not breathing anymore, so he's dead.
Aye.
I beg your pardon.
It's almost as if they asked for an autopsy in it.
Aye.
No, there's no need for that. The physician said it's his illness, he's dead, so shut up. And then Commodus right away gives Maximus the ultimatum.
Aye. Can you promise me your loyalty?
Aye.
As your emperor? Aye. And the old Max is like, nah, you're a fucking wrongin'.
I know, it says I'll only offer it once, and then Maximus just looks at him and fucks off. Gets ready to go, doesn't he?
Aye. He's getting armoured up. He's like saying to his wee manservant, get the men ready. The Emperor's been murdered or whatever. And
Emperor's been slain.
How second in command comes in, which I forgot his name. But see him, he doesn't get slated enough.
No.
He is a fucking rat of a boy. There's a want with him. Just don't make this hard.
Quintus.
That's it, Quintus. Don't make this hard. The Emperor has spoken. And you're like that. Oh, you're a fucking...
Aye, because he's Max's right-hand man. And then, I'm saying obviously, but rather than follow his gut and believe Maximus, who he idolises, it goes full Rome mode. You know what I mean? And I'm now the Emperor's. He says, why are you armed, Gaius? Guards!
And then see, even when he said that, I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that, know what I mean? I was like, oh, he's just coming to have a word with him. Like you didn't see in his films, but he goes, why are you armed?
It just says that was not wise. Wise, the Emperor's been slain. Why are you armed, guys? So he gets arrested, and Quintus says to the guards, take him into the woods, execute him. And then Maximus has one more plead with him, doesn't he? He says, please, Quintus, make sure my wife and my child are looked after. Can you do that for me? What does he say to him?
He's practically, don't worry, Max, they'll be joining you in the afterlife. And you're like, you fucking rat.
So it shows you, I know, obviously this is Commodus's orders right after the get-go. As soon as he refuses his hand, it's not only kill Max, it's go and kill his family, scorch his land, kill his corpse.
Salt the earth.
Right? Servants and everything get done in, know what I mean?
Aye, making a pure example of him, know what I mean? We're doing that to him. It's like commands loyalty for the rest of the commanders in the army and stuff.
Aye, definitely, mate. So he's taken into the woods. He's told to kneel by the executioner guy. And he says, at least give me a clean death, a soldier's death, which I wouldn't be too fond of him, actually, because somebody get the back of you with a sword going right into the back of your spine, into the back of your neck.
Aye. That's that we... I think that wee actor's Scottish as well.
He is. Aye.
He is. Aye. That just shows you, I know, man. He goes for that, and then he's the main baddie in Underworld 2 and stuff.
Aye. He's always plays a kind of a lackey henchman, didn't he? That main baddie kind of bit in Underworld. But aye, so Maximus sees that opportunity to headbutt him, kind of escape, more or less.
Yeah, it's that thing again he says. The frost, sometimes it makes the blade stick.
Brilliant, man.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Nice, a sharp tail, that boy.
And then he shouts on the ones in the horse, doesn't he? Centurion! And well, before he does that, guy in the horse just turns around and there's the swords just hurtling towards him, man.
Takes her out the game.
Right off his horse, man.
Aye. That's what I mean. There's no lack of action in this, man, as you would probably expect for a Gladiator film. You know what I mean? But it's well done, man. Well, he takes care of these executioners and the people that were taking them there.
Just the one that's left on the horse, he kind of has a joust with. He's getting standing with the sword, the guys on the horse coming towards him. They have a clash. Maximus has been hit. The guy turns around again. You think for another go, but then he just slumps off his horse. He's dead. So, whereas they got each other, Max got the killing blow, and he struck a bad blow on him.
He's got a big cut across his helmet, but he doesn't pay that any attention. He grabs his two horses. He's
got to get it from Germany to Italy.
Aye.
So, which is still a joint, you know what I mean? I remember the mountains that separate Germany and Italy. I think it's the Himalayas or the Andes. It's not the Andes, it's Himalayas, isn't it? Something like that, doesn't matter. But he's running, he's got two horses because he knows one horse is going to get done in through exhaustion. The other one. So all the while, mate, he's getting towards home. He's getting more and more drained with this injury, and obviously he's no water or provisions, is he?
It's a lot of blood loss and stuff. Because you see the blood run down his arm at points, and it cuts to the scene. He's home into it, and
just before it, he's in the desert, and he's just on the horse, and kind of his sixth sense that he seems to have through this film alerts him to the fact that the Centurions have arrived at his land, man.
And it's like, here's his wee boy shouting at it.
Papa, another faggy, cornetto, hey, pizza.
And there you go, not to Italy.
Not to Italy. And horses just trample the wee boy, didn't they, man?
I know, mate. See the way they done that as well. That was so realistic. Know what I mean? Because it's no, it must have been a dummy or something, or there's like some sort of CGI. But see that when the horse hits that wee boy, it looks pure real. It doesn't fall like a dummy.
No, it just
goes.
I mean,
aye, but it's quite
mate. It gets
quite shocking that.
It is. So by the time he gets home, he can see the smoke just before his horse dies. His horse just kills over, dies. He's got to try and get there on foot for the last bit, and he can already see the smoke coming, can't he?
Aye, and then you see him walking towards his house, and you just see a broken man. Know what I mean?
No wonder.
And as the camera kind of pans out, you just see the feet of his son and his wife dangling. And
brilliant cinematography, that brilliant pan out.
Aye.
You just say, mate, you just see him broken, falling to his knees. You're like, was he see? And as the camera pulls out, you just see two sets of feet coming down, man, and you're like, oh, Jesus, that's horrible. On the way up to them, you see his servants and all that.
left and right, animals.
Aye.
That breaks them, doesn't it? And
Because I've wrote down there mad slabbers.
Aye. Aye. I think he gets out of his wife's.
Aye. You froze.
It's a big extended
slabber for her feet.
Slabber. It's just like that.
Which is tremendous acting. Isn't it? It's just surreal.
That's what Russell Crowe was talking about, even though they're doing this. They just had them not getting anywhere near like the body sort of thing, and he would just be like, oh, and fall to his feet. And Russell Crowe is like, no, this needs snot fest.
Aye.
Know what I mean?
And it's done brilliantly, man. So the next just kind of pans to a wee scene on the hill. You just see two mounds with flowers on them, so he's buried them, and then he's kind of gave up. He just passes out on the graves, and I wouldn't blame any man to do that. But in the next heartbeat, you just hear chains and talking and shuffling feet, and he's taken away.
Yeah, lifted and taken away, and it just cuts to black. Then it's quite like trippy, like scenery and stuff. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. Well, I've got a kind of theory what I think this is. I think that's like the afterlife.
Elysium.
Aye.
Because he's kind of gone in between it, back and forth.
And he's obviously close to death, so he's coming out and back sort of thing.
Aye, proper Ridley Scott in it with the fast moving clouds and all that, different colours and stuff.
Aye, exactly. But he's kind of he snaps at you and he's on a cart, isn't he? And he's just looking about. Now, see, after a night out, you wake up in some places and go, what the fuck? But there's hyenas and fucking lions and everything. And he's like, what the fuck did I drink last night?
It's that you get another shot of that famous kind of camera movement where it's just his head and the ground seems to be moving behind him. It's just fabulous, man. Then you hear Juba talking to him. Stay alive, don't die.
They'll feed you to the lions. And see him, I know he is another actor that hasn't aged.
Mm-hmm.
See, like, how long has that guy been in movies?
Aye, long time. He's in this, I think. Blood Diamond as well was on about same time-ish.
Tell you, man, he's just. I watched another one, Amistad, as well.
Oh, just great fun.
He's in everything, man. He's just the same.
He's even in Gardens of the Galaxy. But he's on his way to market. He's been picked up by slave traders. Juba's putting the maggots in his wound and says, leave them, they'll clean it, and all that and stuff. Putting bits of something into his wound.
And he's like, see?
Looks like couscous.
Oh, mate, it's fucking disgusting.
So they end up at market at Zuckerbar.
Aye. And then you first see, oh, mad. Well, what's his name? Proximo.
Aye.
The late, great Oliver Reed. I don't know what he's late for, but...
Late for everything. He was pissed off at time.
But what an actor, man. He just carries this force behind him, know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just like a wise old head, you can believe it.
So even one of the wee traders is Omad Jalili.
That
kite's quite funny. And he's had some great wicked parts in movies, so he has as well.
Definitely.
And the guy that's obviously picked up Maximus and Juba and all these other stuff, and he goes up to Proximo. Proximo's just sitting there with his big feather fan thing, getting the flies away. He says, those two giraffes you saw. He grabs him by the balls, didn't he?
Aye.
Those two giraffes you saw me won't mate. They just walk around eating.
Aye.
You sold me, queer giraffes.
See, there's an interesting story behind that as well. See, before that scene, what's his name? Omid, did you say there?
Omad Jalili, aye.
Aye, Omad. He's like, he says all Reed said to him, tell me, are you a method actor? And he says he grabbed his boys.
The way to do it, man.
Oh, mate, brilliant.
A claim to fame before you can tell his grand means that one. Aye, Oliver grabbed my testicles.
That's what it says. Not many people can say Oliver Reed fondled their balls.
No, he says, I give you a special price. So, and even that, Oliver Reed I don't know if it's a mistake in the film or whether it's just him asserting his dominance, because he says, I'll give you 2,000 for the slaves, 4,000 for the beasts. That's 5,000.
Aye.
Should be 6, but he's making his own maths there.
Aye.
And obviously he takes it. So Proximo gets them all back to his compound, and he has the speech to all the kind of slaves he's just bought. And it's brilliant, man. I'll not paraphrase too much, but even the way he's talking, it's just grandioso and articulate. And he says, talks about like that bitch of a mother that brought you into this world.
Aye, just as that bitch of a mother brought you into this world, I will be there when you leave it.
And when you leave it, and leave it you shall, we'll leave it to the sound of. You're like, fucking yes!
Oh, mate. It's just brilliant, isn't it? It's just that way. You're going to die as gladiators. Don't think it, Marriott, know what I mean?
Tells him, I'm going to profit, and I'm going to profit for your death. That's it.
100%.
You are slaves, you're nothing, you're my property.
Because he has kind of got a decent, an arc through this.
Mm-hmm.
How he kind of, you see, he isn't just that slaver.
No, he has a total, what's the word? And that he gets absolution before he passes, or shall we say.
Aye.
That's full circle. He's not just all about the profit. He is the new when we first meet him, but he's got a backstory as the man. I love him.
So it's the gladiator training school, isn't it?
Yes.
Aye. And
Graded, didn't they?
They're getting graded. So whoever's like a wee weakling will be marked yellow, and whoever has potential, which practically a mere sellable asset, will be marked as red.
Mm-hmm.
But then it comes down to Max, and he just throws the sword in. I'll not be partaking in your wee competition. Know what I mean? And he just starts getting slapped with this wooden sword.
Aye. By Proximo's head honcho, whose name begins with an H, but I can't remember where I've written it down. Hagen.
He's
called Hagen. And he just hits him with a sword. Proximo says, again. Hits him again, right on the sword bit, right near him. And then he turns the sword to the sword bit, just to get him right in the neck and goes, stop!
His time will come.
So we're very quickly into fight day.
Aye. Well, it's the whole thing as well. Is it Jubba? Jubba sees Max, and he's scraped him off his Legion tattoo.
Aye.
And he's like, is that no the mark of your gods and all that? And he's like, aye. Well, that no anger them. Aye.
Aye, exactly. I don't want to be kind of. Aye, I know what you mean. He doesn't want to be tarnished or identified as a Roman anymore. He just wants to be the Spaniard.
Yep.
So they're going through into this kind of fight way, and that's even that cinematography is amazing. They get through this kind of bottleneck bit with the crowd above them, and they're dripping goat's blood on them, and they're all covered in red. They're getting, and Juba says to him, "Red is lucky." It's a good sign.
Aye, it's the sign of the gods. You're like that. Aye, is it? But they end up, they start getting chained up into pairs, don't they? For this next event. And you see the big guy Hagen, he gets chained up with some wee guy that's just obviously some poor wee Christian that's been caught. He's like, oh, I don't want to go.
When did he get drunk and fell asleep outside the pub and woke up on the wee cat? Proximo says to him, he gives him a wee speech before they go out and stuff and says, die you will, no, that says, but it's how you die. You choose how you die. You know what I mean? So Maximus then decides, well, he realises then, he says, you know what, I'm not getting killed in an arena. I'm going to have to fight. And he picks the dirt up, puts it in his hand, which is synonymous with him getting into battle because he'd done it right at the start, obviously.
Aye. He does it like every fight he goes into.
As you say, that wee guy's in the tunnel, he pitches himself, doesn't he?
I know. It's just,
I had a shot myself.
I feel sorry for that wee guy because he's seeing his story there as well, which I know was decent acting. I don't know if it's just the way his makeup's been done, but he just looks fucking so haggard and terrified. He's just like, oh.
See, when he pees himself, that's when soldier mode, goes into Maximus, and he just steps away from him as if I do not want to be near you when these doors open.
Aye.
It's on for you. Oh, you're jailbait, mate. You're jailbait.
We called you cannon fodder in the day.
Aye. And then you can just see the gladiators outside, and the Iron Maiden's getting
Aye.
about in slow motion, which is terrifying, man.
Aye. But eventually the doors open. It's like you say, see when that gets swung round and it hits the first guy in the face, just pure, everything opens up and you're like, oh dear.
Aye, brilliant, man. Just takes the heat clean, well, not the heat clean off him, but it takes the face off him, man.
Yeah.
And Hagen, Juba, and Maximus are kind of our main three. And they all realise that. They all know that they're no like wallflowers, they can battle. And they kind of handle their gladiators separately, but team up, especially Maximus and Juba, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Aye, because technically what they are, they're just being sent out to slaughter, practically. Because these other guys are all armed to the teeth. They've all got these special helmets and all that, whatever. They're slaughter gladiators. Aye.
They're fodder.
Aye. But you kill all these guys and especially Big Hagen. He just throws his wee guy in the way.
But see he lifts him up onto the spike wall.
Aye, off. Oh. Aye, he's a big brute, is there, Hagen? He's massive.
He is. He's absolutely brilliant. And then, as I say, Juba and Maximus team up with the last one. They kind of stab him in the stomach with the spear, and then they get the chain that they're attached to each other with and clothesline him with a chain.
No, that's the killer blow, no the stabbed in the abdomen.
Oh, that chain's done me there.
Oh, you're taking the wind right out of me. Oh. But that's where the legend kind of starts, isn't it? They start cheering for Maximus.
Aye. They don't know his name by that time. It's just kind of cheering and Spaniard or whatever.
Aye.
And then we get a wee bit of trumpety music and we're on to the next scene and it's going into Rome. Now, the CGI and effects for this are tremendous. They hold up. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Be uber pernickety and look at some bits of it and say, nah, it could have been done better. But this is fucking 22 years ago. I think it's smashing.
Aye. It's no Phantom of the Menace bad. Know what I mean? It's there. Know what I mean? But it's good enough. Know what I mean? You're seeing Rome.
The Menace, when you get the Phantom of the Opera and Phantom.
Exactly.
The Phantom of the Menace.
I was saying that there, and I was like, I'll give him time to cut in and see if he can. But you didn't. The Phantom Menace.
So we're panning into Rome, and it's all the arrival. Commodus' home. The new Caesar is home to his people. But you see his people, and they're not too happy.
Aye, because they're all. Well, there's plague in that, isn't there? People are starving and stuff. Because it's like what Marcus was talking about. Rome is no longer for the people. It's just being ruled over like a dictatorship. And it kind of gives you the grounding to this, that someday, if they do something to help the people sort of thing, they'll be loved and they can take utter control. That
was his dream. He conquered the lands for this people and he wanted to return with Maximus, hand over the crown and say, Rome is now yours. You know what I mean? This is yours. But it never happened. Obviously, Commodus has arrived. Lucius runs down, go to your mother. She will like that.
Aye, was that Senator Gracchus, his name is?
Gracchus knows he's a bad egg, man.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? He knows he's a fucking bad egg, but our sentencing gets Falco says to him, your loyal subjects are happy to see you home. And Caesar, he's no daft, he just says, I hope it didn't cost you too much.
Aye, exactly. He knows he's not loved and all that, and it's all just a show of face. You know what I mean? But they end up inside the Senate, didn't they?
Yes.
And the senators saying, well, there's plague. How are we going to deal with this? We need to deal with the sanitation and stuff. And Commodus isn't interested one bit about this.
Petulant wee boy.
Aye, just sitting there spinning a sword, no taking anything in. He's already got in his head what he plans to do. He doesn't believe in the Senate or anything at all. He's like, well, I think we should be doing this. and the senator kind of just keeps blocking his path, doesn't he?
Gracchus keeps being facetious with his answers. Well, maybe Caesar can tell us out of his vast experience what he would do. Turns around, just gives him a look, didn't he, man? As if you talk to me like that again and I'll fucking do you in, son. Lucilla comes in, takes Commodus away. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Just a nick of time. And it's then you see two things. Commodus has got his plan, as you say, mate. He's hatching that plan. He knows what he wants to do. And the incest is ripping at him for his sister.
Exactly. But you kind of see like how Lucilia is more adept at dealing with senators. Because she was like a scroll when she goes, I'll take that and I'll have a look at that. Know what I mean?
Aye.
And that kind of pleases the Senate. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And then you see the next thing is Commodus is playing with his wee toy soldiers in his wee toy Colosseum and all that.
Aye.
It's pans to CGI and it's smashing again, man. And then Gaius and Gracchus have a chat. They're drinking their big leafy beverages.
And he's like, opening the 150 days of games. I mean, what does he hope to achieve with this? And Gracchus is like actually surprised. He's like, I think he's not as daft as I thought he was.
Aye, it's clever as I thought. Derek
aye.
Jacobi. Brilliant there, man, because he's just sitting eating grapes and it's a flawless kind of scene for him. It's amazing. And then he says like he'll give them death. He'll bring them death and they will love him for it. Because he knows, that's why he says he's cleverer than he thought. He says he understands Rome. He understands Rome are the mob.
Aye,
and they just want blood.
That's it. Aye, give the people what they want and they'll love you for it. Which is embarrassing to say. Politics nowadays is still the fucking same.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People like certain people for their fucking special lies that agrees with what they want. Know what I mean?
Unfortunately, it's done on an economical level in this day and age. Back then, you could just the saying "throw them to the lions" comes to Rome, doesn't it?
No, but anyway, the games are open, and it cuts back to Max getting into another battle into it, like a wee.
They're in a holding cage, aren't they?
Aye, but then you hear the chants. Know what I mean? So he's had a couple more fights than when we left him.
Aye, well, it's his fellow kind of slaves either side him in the cage as he's getting up to get the cage. And they're like, Spaniard, Spaniard, Spaniard. They all know him. They all respect him. But he rattles. He goes out to face 5 gladiators himself, didn't he?
Aye, but see, before that as well, there was a scene that was cut. Like Proximo was talking to him, and he's like, all you do there is you go and you kill. You're supposed to go out there and entertain.
Mm-hmm. That's right, mate. I can see why they've took it out.
Aye.
Because it would have made the next speech Proximo gives him kind of, you've already told him that, they didn't listen to you, kind of thing. So that was quite clever, but I know the scene you're talking about. But he gets out, 5 gladiators are like, oh, here, this isn't fair. He rattles them off quick style, doesn't he?
Aye, puts an end to all these gladiators. And
especially the last one.
Aye, which is brilliant, man, because obviously he ends up with 2 swords and he stabs this guy and like kind of leaves him and has a look.
Nice.
Aye. And then pulls out the swords and swings them across each other and decapitates this guy.
Dooku's him, didn't he?
Aye, definitely. Oh, actually does. But all the crowd's all cheering and all this, and he's just, I don't know, pissed off with people and throws the sword up into the crowd and says that famous line.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Brilliant. Thanks for leaving that for me there.
I don't worry, I'll set you up.
When he decapitates that guy, the crowd are kind of stunned. There's no noise. They're like, is that it? Is that the fight over? And that's when he says, you're not entertained. And then he shows his disdain for the man, if you will. And the crowd love that. And that's when they start shouting, Spaniard, Spaniard, Spaniard.
But then it cuts to the scene that's him and Proximo into it.
Yes.
And
What do you want?
Aye, this scene for Oliver Reed is absolutely tremendous, man. He tells Max that they're going to Rome because the Emperor has opened up the games again in memory of his father, which he says is quite ironic because it was Marcus Aurelius that shut us down.
And that's when he tells him about his wee backstory into it, about how he was a gladiator. Oh, I used to see the Colosseum Spaniard.
See that, mate? It's just the way he delivers that line. And it's like the crowd, it rises up like a storm. You know what I mean? See that, man? You're like that. That's fucking tremendous.
Brilliant. And he says to him about how he was a gladiator. Obviously, Max says to him, you were a gladiator? Yes, I was, Spaniard. Still regressing. You're still back with him in his wee memories. You can believe it happened. And he says, but I won my freedom. Marcus Aurelius touched me on the shoulder and gave me the wooden sword, and I won my freedom.
Aye.
He pisses himself and all, and he says, you knew Marcus Aurelius. I didn't say I knew him. I said he touched my shoulder once.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, just bye. But he tells him, doesn't he? He's like, if you follow my guidance, it's all about winning the crowd. Follow my guidance, learn from me, and you'll win your freedom.
Win the crowd and you will win your freedom.
And Max, for obvious reasons, is like that. Plan to stand in front of the Emperor.
But he tells Proximo there, and then he goes like, I will win the crowd, don't you worry, I'll win it. If it gets me standing in front of that wee dick, I will win the crowd.
That wee dick.
But Proximo as well gives his armour, doesn't he?
Aye, exactly. He argues that.
Touch.
Aye, which a wee return back to the old city of Rome there. But it's the whole. It's just seeming to get like with obviously Proximo's character. You're just thinking you're a horrible bastard sort of thing and all that, but it's like you're kind of getting a grounding of why he's a horrible. You know what I mean? It's just he's lived this life with slaves. That's why he was straight talking to them. You know what I mean? It wasn't blowing smoke up their ass. Oh, you can be great and all that. He knows you're going to die. I'm going to make money for it. It's the way you die. You know what I mean?
Because Hagar's his number one guy before Max comes on the scene. But I think, as you say, mate, a kind of switch is flicked with Maximus, and he knows Maximus could probably be the next him. Again, another kind of father figure for Maximus in that scenario. But after that's all done, which is brilliant, that scene, we go to Juba, and Juba just talks about his home. I know over there somewhere is my home, many miles away, and I know my wife's waiting for me. My daughter's fetching milk for the cows or water for the stream and all that. And just asks him about his, doesn't he?
Aye, he's like, do you think you'll see your family again and all that? And he's like, if I die in this life, I'll see them again, but not yet. Not yet, which becomes a decent wee line again. Max tells him that his wife and son are already dead. So he's like, they're waiting for me, sort of thing. And it's kind of like a wee bonding moment between the two, innit?
It says to him, but you will see them, but not yet. You've got work to do, mate. You've got stuff to fucking get out the basement before you go and see them. So then we are Rome. We're in Rome. Colosseum. Again, CGI, even to the fact that the birds flocking away for the Colosseum and all that. It's just tremendous, man. I'd love to have seen this on the big screen. I never did. It's one of my biggest regrets.
Well, I was too young, you see. But when we got the DVD for this, I remember DVDs or such a thing. We played this we played this non-stop, man. And it was just, this was on every night, during the day, everything. This was the film.
They get that. See the thing about the CGI is obviously wants you to focus on the buildings, the Colosseum, people running about, birds and that. It's even the backlight and it's even the skyline, the sunlight and all that. It's always kind of sunsetty and it's just phenomenal, man.
But Aye, it's like Juba, he says, didn't he? I didn't know men could build such things.
Aye.
So
It's
it must
good
have
to
been.
because you're right, mate. Because like all these wee people with their warriors are all arriving, and there's wains running through the fields, all excited, and there's kind of jubilant music in it. It's like the fucking Hobbit's got to the Shire.
Oh, I know. Walk into a wee pub.
But you're right. He says I didn't know men could build such things. Proximo gets out, looks at the statue of Marcus Aurelius. Good to see you again, old friend. Kisses him. Bring me fortune.
Even then, he's still talking. He's still thinking money, isn't he?
Sit.
But he says to him, he's gladiators, didn't he? Remember, to win the crowd. And then it cuts to Commodus, who is being fucking
young Lucius.
He's just being creepy uncle.
That is a creepy shot because he's blurred, isn't he? And he just comes into focus. And he's hovering near his nephew, Lucilla. She's shit scared.
Aye, and this is when Commodus kind of starts revealing to his sister, he's like, I think it's time to dissolve the Senate. I think it's time to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Pent up and irate and stuff, and she's like, here, drink this tonic. She makes him a roofie.
Aye. And then it's like, whatever it does, it must go, oh, I'm a bit of a charmer here. Then he starts, tries to pump his sister.
Like that. Aye, you're right. He says to her again, stay with me tonight. You know what I mean? Incest again, ripping him. Incest, a game for all the family. But whatever she's putting that tonic, it must be a double doser, man, because he sparks right out and she gets out of dodge, didn't she?
Aye. So I wonder if she was like drugging him, like, get him to fucking put him to his bed. You know what I mean?
Aye, because she says later in the film to Maximus, she's been constant fear for the minute her father dies. You know what I mean?
Aye.
But that's a quick scene anyway. It's just another ode to incest. Obviously, Commodus reveals that it's time I want to overthrow this Senate pish. I want a dictatorship's the way to go, which is scary. And then we're at the Colosseum, and it's Proximo and eyebrows.
Aye. Did his real eyebrows and all? Oh, mate, he's like negotiating because Proximo's like gladiators have been chosen to reenact the Battle of Carthage. Which
basically your guys are going to be fucking
fodder
slaughter again.
Aye. And he's like, no. I mean, you're going to leave me skint here. He's like, we need to renegotiate. Hangman. He's like, well, if you don't put your men forward, you'll be getting hee-haw. You'll be back up the road.
Aye. You'll get the agreed amount and you can fuck off back to that cesspit you came for.
And then it cuts back to all the gladiators in a holding cell, doesn't it?
Does. And they're just walking about, and young Lucius is walking about, and he goes up and he sees Max. He goes, "Are you the one they call Spaniard?" "Yes, I am." And they have a kind of a nice light-hearted back and forth. They said you were a giant, hands that could crush a man's skull. No, maybe a young boy's. Like you, Spaniard.
I like you.
Cheer for you.
I shall cheer. See that shake, mate. I shall cheer for you. Cheers.
But then somebody ushers him away and says, "Master Lucius, it's time to go." And Maximus light goes on. He remembers what Lucilla told him her son's name was. Says, "You're Lucius?" Says, "Yes, Lucius Fax, named after my father." And he's like, ping. That's when he realises, he says, "I can be recognised here. This is scupper my plans. If Lucius is here, Lucilla's here, obviously fucking Commodus is here, and then the Centurions will recognise. He just realises I'm not going to get anywhere near Caesar if people recognise me."
And then that's when he dons the old helmet into it.
That's when he
Wow.
helmet.
That's no bad, that.
Are you not entertained? So there we go. I couldn't afford the £65 helmet. I just got a cardboard mask. And It was £6, that was. Believe it or not, £6. That's only as good with spectacles underneath it. I'll grant you that. But
I was going to say that.
there we go. There's a mask. So that was £6 well spent for that 30 seconds.
But aye, all the
First fight.
gladiators, they're all lining up to enter this Colosseum, aren't they? And this big guy, he's like, when you go in, you will turn and you will salute the Emperor, and you'll say the line, "For us about to die, we salute you." Right? And Max is just like, well, that's right.
Oh, aye.
Tell your story walking, cunt. But next thing, all the gladiators run into the Colosseum, into it, and
eyebrows is fucking Danny's compare. Battle of Carthage. If they can hear him for the size of his eyebrows. That wig.
The fuck's that in your face? But all the gladiators they the salute, didn't they? For all you's about to die, we salute you, except Max.
Yes.
He's like, not a fucking chance.
Right after that, as you say, mate, that's when he decides to rally the troops, doesn't he? Which is, whatever we do here today, we've got a better chance of doing it if we stick together.
Aye, goes back to being a commander, doesn't he?
Aye.
And he finds out there's like people that have served under him in battles and stuff.
The first guy that says that to him, I fought in the battle of whatever, and he goes like, "You can be useful for me." I can use you as a human shield. That'd be good. They get out. They're lined up and all that. They've got their swords or helmets, and that's when the people are introduced as the heroes, if you will, and they're on chariots, aren't they?
Chariots with those archers on the back of them and stuff.
Swords come out the wheels.
Aye, because they're supposed to be the Roman Empire, and the gladiators are supposed to be like Hannibal and stuff. Aye. But obviously, they expect everybody just to run out and spread out. But Max has obviously commanded them, and they stay as one unit, and they form up with all these shields. Aye,
so there's a good back and forth. As you say, there's archers on the back of the chariots. A couple of gladiators get done in, obviously, from distance. But then they start fighting back, don't they? Shield wall and all that kind of stuff.
Aye. Must have copied that for the Vikings there.
Aye.
But it's just... Aye, so it starts when the carriages are passing. You see it. It's kind of like clipping off like the shields and stuff. But they stick, I think it's like a spear out into it, and it flips one of the chariots. Aye. But while this is all going on, people are all getting cut up and shot, and not shot. But it's like, but it's got to Commodus, isn't he? And he's just sitting like a wee boy, sticking his tongue out, pure lusting and all the blood. You know what I mean?
Aye, he's the mob, along with the mob. But so chariots are getting upended. There's a black lassie that's been an archer, and she falls off, and then she goes to stand back up. The chariot comes with a big knife on the wheel, cuts him too, man. Again, it shows you it's brilliant.
That's what I mean. It's the action and the gory stuff and the effects of this are brilliant. You know what I mean? And we are talking, like, what did you say, 22 years ago?
And then there's another guy on a chariot that kind of capsizes, but the horses are still running, dragging him in the chariot, and he gets crushed against the wall, man. Wow.
But there's a chariot that's crashed against the wall, and Max runs out to release the horses in it, so he ends up on horseback.
Yep.
And it's just he takes it, he throws a spear. He's chasing after one of the chariots, isn't he? And one of the riders throws a spear at him and misses, and he throws his and hits him.
Oh, aye. Takes him right off his feet.
Aye.
There's another bit, it cuts to a wee bit Juba. He's fighting with a guy, and Juba just takes his helmet off and smashes the guy's face. Awesome.
You're brutal at its absolute best.
So before you know it, it's they've won the battle. It's no stuck to script, which was meant to happen. And Caesar decides, I want to meet this, what's he called? They call him Spaniard, sire. He says, I want to meet him. And he goes like that. But forgive me, my memory's a bit hazy. Weren't the Romans meant to win the battle of Carthage? Yes, sire. I'm sorry, sire. So he goes down, it's enter Caesar, and it's du-du-du-du.
I know. And it's Max kind of sees his opportunity, doesn't he? He sees this wee arrowhead lying in the sand,
Mhm.
and he bends down to. That's the only time he takes the knee, but it's to get a weapon to stab this fucking so and so.
Mhm.
And but just as that happens, Lucius runs out in front of Commodus, and he can't do it. But Commodus is asking him, "So who are you? Tell me your name. Do you know speaking all that?" And Max is like, "My name is Gladiator."
Then he turns around and walks away.
Aye, because you're not supposed to turn your back on the Emperor, but when he turns his back, it's you hear the crowd all going, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Oh,
Aye,
how dare you turn your back on me?
aye,
I demand you remove your helmet.
aye. Remove your helmet and reveal who you are,
Aye, and
it's
it's all right.
and that's it. Takes off the helmet and turns round and delivers a famous line, which Russell Crowe panned.
Ah,
He says to the writer, "Your words are shit, but I'm the greatest actor ever, so I'll make them work." And
fucking-
so, what does he say to him, didn't he?
I'm Maximus Maximus Decimus Meridius, general to the Roman army and fucking soldier for the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. And he commented again, odds to Joaquin Phoenix, man, he's acting there. It's just his face tells Caesar's story, man. It's how the fuck are you still alive? What's happening? Oh my God. Because he's totally let it go over his head, the fact that he's called him a fucking fake Caesar to his face, I know.
Aye, exactly in front of his men, and he's like that. You're like, "Gee's the order, kill all these bastards." Know what I mean? But then it's the crowd, and this is what you kind of see. It's like the battle between who can control the crowd, the mob, and Caesar has no choice but to let Max and the other gladiators live.
Aye, thumbs up in it.
Aye, which is actually the other way about.
What do you mean?
So, see, the thumbs down would mean to kill somebody. Thumbs down was actually you want to sheathe your sword,
All right.
whereas thumbs up, you'd be raising your sword to chop somebody down. But because like nowadays, thumbs up is a good thing,
Right.
so they decided to keep it that way.
Change it for
Aye.
that. Check you out, you Roman centurion, you.
But aye, then it, mate, I was howling at this, but Commodus, he's writing out in parchment and stuff like that. How is he still alive? They told me he was dead in Germania.
Oh,
This vexes me.
I'm terribly vexed. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? I thought, see, when he said that, I thought of you, mate. I did think, because we used that word quite a lot, didn't we?
A lot.
Aye, a lot.
Oh, mate.
Rangers dropped points on Saturday. This vexes me. Terribly vexed.
Just turn into somebody. I'm terribly vexed.
Oh, brilliant, man.
Oh.
And he makes a good point. He says, they told me they'd killed him. They've told me. They lied to me. My own people lied to me. If they lied to me, they don't respect me. If they don't respect me, how can I make them love me? He's still infatuated. He still thinks he can make people love him. And that just shows what a deluded brain Commodus has.
Egotistical. But Lucilia arranges to meet Max, innit?
Aye, under the guise that she's paid the guards because rich women like to get their end away with gladiators.
Aye, which was true.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I mean? Like concubines.
Aye, and he's heavy raging, isn't he?
Aye.
Because he thinks off the bat that she's knew about everything, about the murder of his family, about his own death and stuff like that. But she tells him, obviously, she knew nothing. She also portrays to him how she lives in fear every single day. She knows exactly that he's right, blah, blah, blah. He knows then he sees it in her face, doesn't he?
Aye, she's like that. Just no, you've no idea what I've had to live through. She's like, I can't mourn my own father's death for fear. Living in constant fear because her son
It's the next emperor.
is the next emperor of Rome. So what is fuck not going to date him? You know what I mean?
Exactly, because we know through history that Caesars weren't shy in killing the next heir to the throne because they wanted to keep their own power. So he's also living with that every day.
But she never mentions either that he's trying to pump me. Do you know that? Okay, I can't get peace for this bastard.
Fucking, it's trying his end. I keep making this boy tonics. He keeps taking them. He's fucking off his daft. But she does say to him, look, Commodus has enemies. Trust me. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of, he likes the sound of that.
Aye.
So after that, it's lunchtime. We've got the three amigos sitting eating their, kind of looks like nice chili.
Aye, and it's just Max. He's like, now that they know I'm here. And it's Juba kind of gives him the idea into it. He looks at his food first and he's like,
Because the guy calls Max there. Spaniard looks separately to get his bowl of his food. And you're right, Juba just looks at it and goes, no. Hagen doesn't care. He just laughs and takes a big spoonful and goes,
I bums him up and they'll have this mad laugh. Ah, you mad bastard, you.
He is too. You're a pair of scamps.
Aye.
And so we're very quickly on to fight number 2.
Aye, but then again, you see another act Commodus try to gather favour with the people because they in the Colosseum they're throwing bread to the crowd because obviously they're starving and stuff, and it's to.
But that was commonplace. That happened before every main event.
You're starting to see that Commodus and Max are battling for Rome. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So this is another wee point for me to follow the people, but
I have issue with his plan here because although the guy that he gets in that he thinks is going to kill him retired undefeated, he retired 5 years ago, you know what I mean?
Aye.
Doing since, mate. Fuck all, mate. No.
Big Tibus, which in the original casting was Lou Ferrino.
So I heard, I've seen that.
But for one reason or another, changed it.
With the two light in his feet, big Lou.
Maybe he just looked too perfect.
That's it. So we've got him in to fight Max, and then we've got the hidden surprise that there's tigers involved.
Aye. Plus, Commodus has said to his sister, hasn't he? Don't worry, it's been arranged that Max will die. So there's obviously going to be a disadvantage of some kind here.
Mm-hmm. But Proximo says to him, shadows and dust. We part and cry to him. But as you say, mate, the tigers are released, and then we see Cicero in the crowd, his manservant, Big Chib. Big Chib. Him is new, Chib.
Big Chib.
Bound, he knows Max is alive in the crowd. So quite a good battle, isn't it, mate?
Aye. It's just unlike what I said on Twitter, it wasn't dogs in costumes, it was real tigers. Plus, there was a veterinarian on set at all times with a tranquilizer gun to shoot them.
That's right.
But so it wasn't Jack Russell's.
People on Twitter believe that, I mean, that's how I was like, truth. There was some CGI tigers, which pretty flawless as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some of that. I can't remember the term for it in the film industry, but it makes you look closer to the thing in the background than you actually are. Done a lot of it in Lord of the Rings, didn't they, with the hobbits and stuff. Yep. So the tigers having swipes and just missing, but they're really kind of far away.
Aye.
Brilliantly done. But even at the start of the fight, see, is it Tibus?
Tibus.
He puts the sand right in Max's face, didn't he?
He's like dirty cheek bastard. But they're sword fighting and all that into it, and when Max is pushing him towards a tiger, the slaves are holding the tiger back. Mm-hmm. But when the roles are reversed, the slaves are letting the tigers get close to Maximus, isn't it?
Yes. So, but it's mainly a toe-to-toe battle for a good wee 5 minutes. Then Maximus gets the best of him to the point of fact where he's got him down the ground. He's just going to he can kill him if he wants. And again,
plus, Max has already killed a big tiger too.
that's right. Stabs the tiger, mate. And then it has this animal lying on top of him, and this mad champion can't kill him.
Aye,
That's a bit mental. He's got him under his foot. He's won. Looks at Caesar. What do you want me to do?
Aye.
Caesar says, kill him.
Aye. That's, I mean, the crowd's wanting it, but they're all going like, kill, kill, kill. And Commodus like, I'll give the people what they want. Thumb down to kill him. And then just like a pure show of defiance, Spaniard throws it down.
Aye.
And there's just this mad wee random guy. Maximus the Merciful!
Maximus the Merciful! Once again, Collins is like, you bastard. You just ripped the cunt right out of me.
That is it, mate.
50,000 Romans.
But Commodus feels the need to come into the arena again.
Oh.
Aye, that's fucking aye. So he's like, what are you going to do about this? Aye. You know what I mean? What am I going to do with you? And he's like, oh, your day's at an end. And then as Max is walking away, he mentions he's boying his wife, didn't he?
Aye. He says, I heard your son screamed like a pig or something like that, and your wife howled for mercy as my men ravaged her again and again and again. Stops him in his tracks, turns around. I remember the first time you seen it, you're like, what's you got to do? He plays to the crowd, doesn't he?
Aye. He's just like, your times for honouring yourself will be at an end.
Aye. And it bows to him.
Aye.
That's what the crowd see. Do you know what I mean? They don't hear the conversation. So everybody's just sitting there pure intrigued, man. But he just keeps it well in. That's a better man than me, man, because he knows the time. It's no his time. He can't, he'll no do it. But bows and walks off, mate. And then we see Mad Chib shouting through the benches at him.
General! He's the only Scotsman in Rome.
I know. General! Right, mate? How you doing?
Jenny boy!
All right, cunt. Shagger!
Nice. He tells him, doesn't he? Max finds out where are the men. He's like, they're just camped out, say, a couple of miles away.
Aye. How do they look? Fat and bored.
Aye. And then
General lives.
Exactly. And then he passes him his wee dolls, doesn't he?
Aye. So Juba asks about his family because that Max is in his cell. He's got his wee candles going. He's saying his prayers, and Juba asks him about them and says, "Do you think do they hear you? Do your family hear you?" And it's just like that. It says, "Aye, they do." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I do it.
That cuts back to Commodus again, doesn't it? And
it's a very fleeting scene, that. Nearly greeting with anger, isn't he?
Aye. But it's back to Commodus, isn't he? And he's unwinding, isn't he?
Aye.
He's with the day. They're just, and there's a senator there, and he's saying, just kill him. He's becoming too dangerous.
Aye, he says it in a kind of roundabout sort of way. Falco, it is, and he says, you know, sire, there's a story of this sea snake, and it lies at the bottom of the ocean and plays dead, lets its enemies come to him. They get closer and closer, and they take little bites, and still he lies still until it's too late. It's not. So then he just decides, then we will be still.
And that's it's like a metaphor. It's like, if you sit here and don't do anything, sooner or later you'll know all your enemies.
Aye, that's it. They'll come to you. Just wait. Aye. Which is sound advice for a snaky self, you know what I mean?
Aye, definitely.
Lucilla's getting carted through the town, and Cicero, my lady, I served your father. Aye.
I served the general, mate.
I served the general Maximus. I served him still. Stop. Back down. Thank you very much.
Do you imagine that, but being one of the guys? Oh, what'd you do in work today? Oh, carried that fucking lazy bastard about the tune all night.
She wanted to go to the fucking forge. Fucking telling you, man. No, but never even bought it. Fucking bastard. So Cicero tells Lucilla, kind of, do you know what I mean, what the plan is in a roundabout sort of way. She gives him the coins and says, thanks for your service and all that. There you go.
The general will meet your senator.
Aye, she's going to get Gracchus. And they hatched their plan.
Right.
And kind of, Maximus says to Gracchus, he says, help me escape and I'll be back here in 2 days with 5,000 men and I will overthrow the throne.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And it's all, that's a good plan, that.
Aye. Big Gracchus is like, you mean to tell me you're going to come here, you're going to take control, and then you're just going to get all away?
Why should I trust you? He says, because it was the wish of a dying man.
Aye.
Marcus Aurelius. And Gracchus just says, you're good people, you.
Aye, I like you. There's something about you, son.
You. Marcus Aurelius trusts you. I'll tell you what, son. I'm going to trust you.
Aye. I'm no one for standing outside. I'll join the crowd. But
So there's data off there. So the plan's been set. Plan's hatched. But it's not too long before, right after that, Gracchus gets arrested right away, kind of. Well, Maximus has a word with Proximo, try to get him on board first of all, didn't he?
Aye. Aye, and he tells him under no uncertain terms that he's no. And nah.
Too risky.
Aye, I'm an entertainer. I'm not like a revolutionary. Know what I mean?
Aye, and that's the start of the Oliver Reed CGI there.
Aye.
So it is.
But Max kind of appeals to his better side, doesn't he? Because I think Max has already kind of sussed him out. He is what he is, but there is still like a good man there. Know what I mean?
There's a bit of honour left in him to come. But he doesn't get the 100% yes before they part ways in that scene. But Max is quite confident. Kind of leaves the ball in his court as well.
Aye, because he says to him, he killed the man that set you free.
Aye.
And just plants that wee seed.
Aye, you're right, mate. And that's the kind of the switch flicked, I think. So Commodus and Lucilla are chatting, and he says to her, "You know I love you, don't you?" She's like, "Fucking aye, I do."
Aye, fucking. This is proper creepy, isn't it? He's starting to. I'm doing what I want now. Know what I mean?
Aye.
But then it cuts to a scene into it, and it's Max and Lucilia into it, because this is after Caraxus is he's been arrested.
Yes, because Proximo says, "Aye, lets him in," and she's like, "We need to act now." Caraxus arrested.
Let's hang me. Aye, we need to bring this plan forward.
But not before I winch the coupon off of you.
Aye, and that's what you kind of. I'll say it after we're kind of done, but it's like it reveals more that they two had a relationship. You know what I mean? And
it does.
She still lusts for her Max.
Aye, there was rumours just after the film came out about time. People were kind of saying about Lucius was his son, but he quashes that early in the film with the fact that his boy's the same age. Not to say he couldn't have seeded two women at the same time, but it's just a pointless, far-fetched kind of.
Well, I was going to say, like I said, I'll wait to the end, but since you've said that, the rumour for the Gladiator 2 film is Lucius is his son, and he will be played by Chris Hemsworth.
Gee, I'm not too happy with it, but Hemsworth could be a good shout for it. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. I don't know if it'd need to be a fucking one hell of a script, man, to follow on for this. But if I get Hemsworth in, who's a top dollar actor, then I can see it. As long as there's no fucking, as long as Taika Waititi's no fucking director.
No, I think it is Ridley, because as he was saying, Gladiator 2 will be good to go after he's done Napoleon.
Good. So young Lucius is play fighting, sword fighting, when Caesar wakes up and he says, "Isn't it a little late to be playing Centurion?" "I'm not a Centurion. I'm a gladiator. I'm Maximus, hero of Rome, or hero of the slaves, or something like that.
Saviour of Rome.
Saviour of Rome, that's right,
Aye.
because that sets a wee fire in Commodus's head. Where did you hear that?
Aye. And that's it.
Lucius
Four slips, 6 sips.
inadvertently sticks every cunt in.
Aye. And then it's the next scene, which is
Oh,
brilliant again, man.
what a
It is,
delivery, mate.
oh, mate, so, again, Phoenix, so sinister. He's sitting with his nephew. Lucilia comes in, and Commodus is telling him,
Very clever little boy.
he's telling his nephew about the story of another emperor, and it was all how that the ones closest to him betrayed him, broke his heart and stuff. But what he did say to the wee traitors is he would kill all the loved ones. That he calls these traitors the little bees.
Aye.
And he's like, and do you know what happened? The little bee.
Uncle.
Yes, Daddy. The little bee told him everything he wanted to know.
You're staring into Lucilia's eyes.
Aye, because he's
Tearful
heartbroken.
for that time.
Aye, he's heartbroken and raging, and he's letting her know, I know, and I've got your boy sitting here right beside me, so you're going to spill everything.
All right. And then the next thing we see is Admiral Akbar going, "It's a trap!"
One of the other politicians, he gets a snake in the bed, doesn't he? He's assassinated.
Aye, Mad Proximo just comes good, lets all his slaves out, doesn't he let the galleon or centurions in. Open the gate, Proximo. And you could even hear the question in the wee Roman's voice, open the gate, Proximo.
He's just marching across his courtyard, didn't he? Towards his gladiators. And he goes, gives him the keys, gives Max the keys in it, and he goes, everything's been arranged.
Aye.
And Max says to him, are you in danger of becoming a good man, Proximo? And he just goes, ha!
Again,
That's the way.
Aye, that's a CGI, but you can see it's CGI, but it's still great for that time. 22 fucking year, you know what I mean?
Right.
So the slaves, they're all on board with Maximus, so they keep the Romans at bay best they can, have a good fight scene in the dark, which is pretty decent. Proximo is just standing in his quarters, looking up at a painting or looking up at a bust or something like that when all the Romans come in and start plunging their swords into him. But his last words are shadows and dust.
Hey. Which it's a kind of a good ending to that guy, obviously, because Reed died during the filming. But as I was delving into stuff last night, I'm kind of gutted that we didn't get to see what they had wrote.
Aye, definitely, because it would have just been, because it was taken for the shadows and dust, it says before that, didn't it?
Aye.
And just CGI'd back in. So, but his character has the full boona, it has the full 360, absolution, and hopefully he's away to release them and no down to the big burning fire.
Which is, yeah.
The Proximo's killed. Maximus gets into the courtyard, thinks he's escaping. You can see the horse in the distance with Cicero on it. And he whistles on him. Cicero sees Max and goes, Maximus, it's a trap. The horse bolts. Cicero's getting hung.
Your Chibs is hung. And
Max tries to
save him. But again, it's the ambush in it. It's
the big arrows right in his chest, man.
Aye. Captured. And that's the whole thing. I mean, see what was originally wrote, talking about Proximo. Before Max fights Commodus in the Colosseum. Commodus was going to make Max fight Proximo in the Colosseum.
All right.
To like a final, well, you're going to kill your last father figure here.
Kill or be killed kind of thing.
Aye, and that's where Max would sustain the injury, sort of thing. But when he kill Proximo, it would just kind of wound him, sort of thing.
Cool. Get that? Well, I can see, but I'm not glad Oliver Reed died, but I'm kind of glad that never happened in the film. Next scene. So Max is arrested anyway. Next scene is kind of Commodus laying down the law to Lucilla.
Which is,
This is what's going to happen, bitch.
aye,
You are going to do everything I say. If you look at me the wrong way, I'm going to stab you. I'm going to kill your boy. You will love me, and you will give me an heir to the throne. I'm pumping your head.
aye. And he also traps her in that as well. He goes, and if you ever feel like honour surges through you and you decide to kill yourself, I'll kill your son.
Aye,
So it's
no
like,
way out.
aye,
No escape, man. Brutal. And she's just, you can just see she's dead behind the eyes, man, isn't she? She's, her life's fucked.
and he goes, am I no merciful? And the bit he screams at her and he goes, am I no merciful? Which was ad-libbed by Phoenix, which is brilliant. You know what I mean?
What a bit of cynicism at the end of it. I'm
Aye.
telling you what's happening. And now I want you to tell me that I am brilliant for saying this to you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Fucking madness.
we're final act, mate. So we are. It's D-Day at the Coliseum.
Aye.
It's on pay-per-view, Skybox office. You've got the guy announcer going, let's get ready to rumble. Everybody's there.
Aye. It's Commodus is going to fight Max in the Coliseum, isn't it? This is the final fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it all comes out. This is the first time the two of them have had an actual conversation.
Aye.
And Max tells Commodus, I know you killed your father. Know what I mean? Which I think is the first time he's been accused of it, the whole thing.
Aye. Well, he's only one brave enough to whisper it, utter it. Everybody else would have just been disappeared, you know what I mean? So obviously Commodus doesn't deny it. Says, my father loved you, I know this and all that, which makes us brothers, doesn't it? And he gives him embraces him. Embrace me. Embraces him. Absolutely. It doesn't even look like a dagger. It looks like a fucking big, thick letter opener, man, right in the wrist, man.
Aye, and that's...
Smile for me now, brother.
And he turns in these wee guards, put his armour on, conceal the wound. Like, yeah, wee dirty cheating bastard.
Bastard. Because before he stabs him, Maximus is just pure surprise. You'll fight me?
Aye.
Aye, why not?
I know. I mean, we've kind of forgot a bit. Like, after the battle in Germania, you see him kind of practicing with his guards. That he is an able swordsman as well.
Aye. And another thing about that scene that I meant to hark back to there, but you just reminded me. That must be my postman. Doug's going off, it's not. I think when Maximus seen him in the woods practicing, he knows his fighting style.
Aye.
I mean, so he's logged that as well. But he's been stabbed, he's got the armour on, he's losing blood, and it's the rise into the Colosseum, which is fantastic.
Aye. Brilliant, man. It's just like, are you ready? You know what I mean? The crowd's all just baying for it. It's just like a big epic finale, isn't it?
Aye,
throwing the rose petals and everything.
They're behind the shield wall of the Roman centuries. There's rose petals and all that falling in. The crowd's going mental. It's just the ultimate entrance. And Max is clearly wounded. Don't know how much you can see that for the stands, but it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Commodus is playing to the crowd as if he's loved, but nobody's cheering for him, man.
Aye, that's it. And then this is again, maybe we'll talk about Quintus. You wallop with it, boy. Aye. I mean, Commodus gets held a sword, and then Max is looking for a sword to fight, and Commodus Quintus just like throws it away from him.
I know.
You're like that. Yeah, fucking rat you. Know what I mean? You know the whole fucking scenario, and you still kind of horn the guy a fucking sword.
I know.
Prick.
You can only use one horn, you know what I mean?
Aye.
So they're having their battle. Max is obviously losing blood. He's kind of hallucinating. He's passing out, whatever, floating in and out of consciousness. But he's holding his own with a one hand. His other arm's immobile. And his temper gets him through a good bit as well when he charges Commodus, cuts him as well.
Aye.
Which is a surprise. And then he gets the sword out of Commodus's hand into.
Aye. and it's like kind of, oh, this is it. But
this is where kind of Rome stands down.
aye, this is what I was like kind of saying as well. I think that he's seeing the afterlife and stuff because he's obviously losing blood, so he's dying on his feet.
Uh-huh.
So because when he's got this advantage, he drops his sword because he's seeing the afterlife and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And all the
people are
while,
like,
Commodus is asking Quintus and these Romans soldiers for a sword. Give me a sword, sword. And Quintus redeems himself a little bit by saying, do not unsheath your weapons. Do you know what I mean? We'll get a fucking sword.
Exactly. But obviously, Commodus sees that Max isn't exactly fucking in the moment, shall we say, and pulls this wee dagger out his sleeve, like fucking Assassin's Creed, and just tries to kill Max, but Max is just avoiding him the whole time.
But then it comes to like a grapple, look there, with the dagger. Maximus comes back to us for the time he needs to, and it's just a show of strength after that, and he uses the last of his strength to push the dagger right into Commodus's throat. Slowly, man.
That's it. You hear the crunches and everything, man.
It's just the one first plunge in, and you just hear it as you say, the crunch and the squelch it getting in even further. And it's brilliant, man. It's so satisfying. I fucking hate the bastard.
Exactly.
And then even just before he lays him down the ground, there's just one final wee push. Do you know what I mean? Right in there.
I just thud.
So the last kind of it's silent in it.
The whole Colosseum's just fell silent, like he's just killed the Emperor. You know what I mean? It's like, oh dear. But it's Max turns to Quintus, and he's like, all my men have to be released. Brachus is to be released from prison, and it was to turn into a republic. These are the last wishes of Marcus Aurelius.
There was a dream that was Rome. These are the last words of Marcus Aurelius, and then collapses, man.
Right, and that's he's starting to see his wife and family and all that in the afterlife or Elysium.
And when he's on the ground, that's when you see the floating ground at the back of his head again.
Aye, and it's Lucia. She comes down, isn't she? And she says, and she just sees that he's dying, and she must see that he's seeing his family.
She just
go to them. Know what I mean? Which is quite emotional, man.
I'm telling you, mate, I was nearly greeting again yesterday watching it. It fucking gets me all the time. So you said it perfect. She sees he's dying rather than go to them, just go to them. You've done it. You know what I mean? You've gave us back Rome. You know what I mean? You gave it back to the people. And as you say, that's him. He dies there and he goes back, sees his wife and his son, they're all happy and hey, daddy, papa. You go, papa.
You see him walking through the fields of wheat towards his family, and then that's the end of Max. But it cuts back to Lucille. She's in the Colosseum, and the other gladiators and the senators been released and stuff, and she releases, talks to the crowd, didn't she? He was a soldier of Rome.
Honour him.
I honour him, and it's that. Was it Brachus says, who will help me carry him?
That's talking fucking Thor mythology. Who will help me carry him?
I will. It's just I left Max's body at the Colosseum into it, and it's just
hero's exit.
Aye, and it fades to the Colosseum empty, and you've got Juba, who's in the Colosseum, and he's burying the two dolls in the sand. And he says, I will see you again, but not yet. Not yet.
Yet.
Which,
big smile, man.
Again, was like another rewrite because it was supposed to be Proximo that buried the two dolls.
Right.
And it was like, that was like his full like redemption sort of thing. Know what I mean? That he was a good person. Obviously, because he died, they rewrote this and used Jubba's previous line, which works. Works a lot better, isn't it?
Brilliant. Because it ends on the fact that Juba knows and we all know Max he's done everything. I mean, he's killed the tyrant, gave the people back Rome, and he's now in Elysium with his family, where he always wanted to be for the very first season. No, not Elysium, but with his family. He eventually got there, he can rest, you know what I mean?
That's it. And it's
Tony Stark moment, isn't it?
Aye. And it's like the whole, is there an afterlife thing? And there is. That's what he gets it. I will see you again. But not yet, because I've still got stuff to do.
Exactly, mate. It's amazing.
Aye.
So that was Gladiator. Phenomenal. What you getting it?
Well, am I getting it? 9.
9 again.
Aye. Plus, mate, for everything, it's just, see the score yet? The score rivals Star Wars. I'd maybe even say it's better than Star Wars.
Well, I'm getting a 9.5, mate. I'm so close to the 10, it's unreal. I can never not like this film. As you say as well, if you look at it from a cinematic point of view and the birth it gave to all these films and TV series, these actors you've probably never heard of, costume designs, sets, the whole lot. It was the birthplace for that. And it was, you're only, 4 or 6 years post Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was kind of seen as the benchmark for CGI. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
No. Oh, definitely, mate. It's brilliant film. Brilliant. It's just where there you go. We're even talking about how they should just leave it as is and no Gladiator 2.
Aye.
I'd say it is Ridley Scott's best movie.
Aye. No, you're by the way. Aye, because I'm no a big fan of what do you call it? Harrison Ford film in the future.
Oh, Blade Runner.
I'm no huge fan of that at all. Or the remake. But a lot of people say it's Ridley Scott's best work. I suppose for the time it really was. It was groundbreaking, but this film is just fucking awesome.
No, superb, man. So what's your Scottish name for this?
I've got a few. I'm going to pick one. So my Scottish translation for Gladiator is going to be handy cunt.
Well, I was just going to say, are you ready? Like a throwback to the old Gladiators program, but
all right.
I'll just mad stabber.
One of the lads was ticket. There we go. We're going to make that a feature. We're going to try and Glaswegianise the titles of movies that we do for now on, which means we're going to have to do one for next week, which is your choice, my good friend.
Yes.
If you've picked one, or you're having a think, or you're going to reveal it to us all.
Oh no, I did pick one. Like I say, I was between The Silence and this one, but I think we'll just go for this because I don't think you've seen it, and it's about time you should see it.
Right.
And it's going to be No Country for Old Men.
Right. Good.
And it's a quality film. It's absolutely brilliant, mate. So I think you'll enjoy it.
Good. I don't know why I've never seen it. It's always been on my list, but I've just never get around to it. So I look forward to that, mate. No Country for Old Men, which will be next week's episode. I'm going to watch it and then I'll do the noting part of it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it'll be hefty notes, I reckon.
So thanks very much, everybody, for listening, tuning in, for the support as well. We've had a good following on Good Pods. We're getting up the ladder, which is excellent. It gives us a wee bit of gratification what we're doing, which we do fully love and enjoy and have a good laugh doing. But to know other people are listening and watching and liking it, there's a wee buzz in it.
Definitely, mate. It adds to the thrill, doesn't it?
keep on the Twitter family this week again, because that seems to be bearing fruit. And we've had a lot of good podcasts as well on the back of it as well. The guys at, let me just see again, because my eyes are not working here. Where are you? Just getting my phone out. The guys of the Wreckfest Club, Liver Pudding boys, yous are excellent, man. Gives a wee bit of justification that swearing and length of podcast shouldn't matter if it's good, because you guys are good, man. So thanks for that.
There's no stakes.
Look Look at us sitting on that tree, perchy as fuck.
Just perching.
Perchy
Oh.
as fuck.
It's the orgy. It's the orgy.
They don't like Bill Nye, do they?
No.
I think he's quite a
They
limited
don't
man
like-
himself. Why would you want to be with that old man, crusty old man? Anyway, mate, I must away.
Oh.
Uh, away to murder my dog.
Aye.
I'm going to shut up.
Well, well, just remember, mate, what you do echoes in eternity.
Shadows and dust, Spaniards. Shadows and dust. Cheerio, bye.
Cheerio.
And action!
You disgust me. Grow up.